You know, they tried to throw that curveball in. Yeah, we're going to pick Mirage, but permaban for Bravos, yeah, not going to happen. So Bravos will have to start things out on this T side, and they have already set their sights out for long.
And Zevi was a big man yesterday, hoping to do the same today. USB starts off with a big kill, even some damage dealt. He's sticking his ground. Not enough utility on the terrorist side to be able to retake out in towards long, and that's where they've rerouted back for the catwalk, hoping to be able to break their way into the A site the other way around.
Yeah, I've got the smokes for this singular flash as well. You can see Woody just holding in towards the longhouse, and a couple of steps being made here from Zevi, hoping to bait out that fight. Here come those flashes. The smokes have been deployed. Reels is still in the corner and not being actually able to flush out. Bravos on getting much scaling into the site, but finally Turtle getting the entry that's needed, and now they can get that bomb planted.
Well, Kowzi is only good for one who was fantastic and a lot of clutch rounds in the previous series that we watched him play out. Now he's got to be coming up big, unfortunately. Has to do it in the next few rounds. GNT and Zevi, the only ones left. Zevi, of course, started off nicely, but now has to follow up. Might not be expected as a late man coming in, but Denoko's keeping an eye out for that. GNT as well wants to strike in. Zevi, chance given, and he's got it. The first kill comes out, makes it look easy, but the double peek's too much for GNT to deal with. He's got a kit. He's going to be able to stick the defuse. They aren't peeking him in time. It's going to be late on to the party, and he's not able to stick it. Here's the footsteps coming over and thought he didn't have the time. But Michael, I think he might have actually been able to get that one.
Yeah, it would have had to be graced there with that first shot from Turtle. Maybe not connecting, but as soon as he gets off of it, that's where they can commit to that double swing. Turtle does so much on these entries, man. The first kill, I thought that was going to be all they got, but they tried to get those trades lined up, only for Turtle to come in with 3. So Bravos really making use of that crucial man. Another person that we've talked a lot about here on the side of Bravos before, where, you know, he's got that kind of story journey, was once a Fury Academy player, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And has since been on a bit of an adventure and a development cycle. He's really coming to his own, I think. He's got so much map presence, constantly rotates between sites. You know, he plays this kind of supportive role, but ends up doing a whole lot more than just giving a little pat on the back or throwing nades.
Can be incredibly good, that's for sure. But right now, Pack's hoping to give them a bit of a pat on the head. Railson's the one who takes it away instead, Michael. And this is where the CT rotations coming in very quickly is going to be crucial. Long push could be stopped out. They're not using flashes, and Zevi's got a chance. It's a late flash, catches him perfectly. Turtle follows through with another. They didn't have all that much utility, but they've used it perfectly anyway. Timings are great on that one, Michael. Kowzi is going to be left alone, and he'll fall there and then. Turtle again comes up big. Another day, another round, another 4K.
Yeah, back-to-back 4Ks. Okay, I mean, if you could get that kind of production out of him, then this could be a steamroll. Bravos are finding these entries quickly. They're collapsing on the bomb site. And, I mean, the Sharks couldn't do really anything to contest it. They were in pretty good positions to actually fight for that site, but just couldn't get the kills to back it all up. Full eco now for the Sharks.
And, you know, shout out to our stats person, AZS, Elliot. I'm sure he has many other hats other than just that as well, but obviously I only get to interact with him in that regards. He just pointed out that the last time these two teams played, of course, the leaders were slightly reversed, Michael. They just won each other's map picks, which seems to be a theme in the Brazilian scene, really. GNT right now, they're left alone. But Michael, I know you had something to touch upon about these maps.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty similar to the last time they faced off against each other, and I think Boggs was mentioning that last time they played with Kaiji, which is, you know, it's not exactly a player you're going to want to miss out on, but I do like the approach. I think both teams have come in with that same mindset of, hey, we'll win the same maps as last time, learn from the errors of the previous matchup, and then throwing in a little bit of a change into the cider and the fact that we have Vertigo instead, where, I mean, Pank predicted it in a weird way. He said this isn't going to be the last time we faced off against each other, and he was right. You know, the vetoes are slightly different.
4 players heavily stacked over towards long right now. They feel like it's going to be needing a lot of contest, and with this much utility deployed into tunnels early in from JNT, you've got to be careful that the read doesn't just straight up come through. He's used 3 pieces already. If anyone on the Bravo side wanted to pull the trigger, maybe take that deal, could have gone very wrong. But Lukowski, in the meanwhile, nade not going to do a whole lot. Double nade actually not going to do a whole lot. And already you can see CT utility. You've got 1:20 left. You've got 3 flashes in total.
Yeah, look at how they're grouping over towards that B side as well here on the side of Bravos. So Just trying to draw attention away from that potential action. See JNT in a bit of an off angle, but it's not as though Bravos don't have the utility to clear this.
Oh, here comes out that full flurry of utility. And are they going for the full wall of smokes? No, not quite, but it is going to be isolating. JNT, however, peeks out immediately afterwards. And he's able to find one and damage out of the second. Bravos even knew what was going on, but caught up so much in their own protocol that they forget to check what comes after and rails in. Finds Turtle. In the meanwhile, knew that he was going to go for some sort of an initiative play over towards long once their control inside B is gone. And now, flash in the mid. They're struggling to find anything. Joda good for one, but tags in mid aren't going to be a good sign. Lukowski adds two more. The tally. And Joda left alone. 1-on-4 bomb on his back, but kills need to be had. Lukowski finishes it out.
Yeah, they throw the molly to clear JNT out of position, but nobody holds it. You know, they start worrying about the lower tunnels pressure potentially. They're sort of turning away from those tunnels, and that's exactly when JNT goes out to peek, and you could see that they were kind of flustered, trying to find a second solution. They started to move that bomb away from that B site, hoping that Turtle's lurk could find something, but as soon as that kill came in, you know, they go to plan C or D, and that's where Lukowski is there to meet them in middle. So great that the Sharks have gotten their first gun round together. We're starting to counteract by the Bravos full buy in return. And this time, long will be the focus. You know, they are collectively grouping up.
I think they might have just ended up flashing themselves, but Leo's still able to find the kill. Even so, the amount of damage dealt by Railsin is more than enough. And with this many players available, Zevi's going to start to contest. Lukowski follows up. It's Woody to trade. And Woody wants to go for the second repeat. You know it. It's a 2-on-2, and Woody's turned it into a 2-on-1. GNT's got a fair bit of health on him, but again, he's used up his utility incredibly early on as the anchor, so rotating in this clutch won't be easy.
God, it's an absolute graveyard at long. So many fights there from either side, neither wanting to concede control. And now with them moving in towards that bomb site, they are going to be privy to the fact that a flank could be possible, but just still so many unknowns about where JNT rotates and how he approaches this one.
He's been able to pick up a Molotov as well, and we'll have to wait to see whether it becomes useful. There's a lot of kits around the place, even if he doesn't have one, can make it Oh, he doesn't pick it up. He moves right by it. That could be significant later on. Woody's got a flashbang as well to delay if he'd like to, and as he's peeking out, JNT catches him. What in the world is that?
Who needs kits if they're finding headshots so quickly? They couldn't move. They were stuck in place. They really were unsure about where JNT was coming from. And he's a lethal executioner.
Utility unnecessary, Michael. I mean, I was getting worried. He doesn't have flash, doesn't have anything. Picks up an Molotov, ignores the kid on the ground, and there you go. Tap, tap, tap. Young Sharks find themselves the second, and Bravo still feel the need to force buy behind it. They do have the money to be able to pull out a lot of rifles, but it looked like Bravos had done everything right in that round as well. You know, they had the delayed long hit coming through earlier on, made sure utility, etc. was used. Sure, there was a mistake on the flashbang, but you know, you can forgive that.
I think it was even Pank saying in his interview ahead of this game that they have a bit of admiration for Bravos because they can play this aggressive game. They know when to play passive. On this T side, Bravos have really just been collecting themselves together and setting their eyes on an objective. I think because of the way players are moving around the map, just to give everyone a heads up, I think this will be a restart.
Yeah.
They're not moving in spawn, so it's no big deal. But yeah, just coming ahead of this matchup, they understand that Bravos have this dynamic to their playstyle where sometimes they do go for these hyper-aggressive defaults. Then, you know, in the next round, we'll see a little bit of a sneaky play, you know, trying to leverage players like Joda or Turtle. And I think last time we saw Bravos on Dust2, Joda was that highlighted player because he was constantly punishing rotations and sort of half-witted clears from their opponent if they were coming in for retakes, whether between the A or the B bomb site, which is something that can be punished. You know, we saw lurking kind of fall out of meta for a couple of years. I think it's kind of back on the menu, at least as far as this region is concerned.
It's odd. It is back on the menu, even globally in a couple of teams where, before, if you think about it, Michael, could you imagine a top 10 team maybe back in 2018, maybe in 19, where they have such a super dedicated lurk the way, sometimes you see on teams like Complexity and whatnot. It is just an interesting shift back in history in some regards. I know Lauren in particular in some of his videos does talk about how WMF is very similar to how Happy was in his prime. Which some people might come out with an insult, but man did win 2 majors as an IGL.
Yeah, and I think the big difference nowadays is that even if you are going to be the quote unquote dedicated lurker, you have to add other skills to your repertoire. You still have to be able to run in it with the pack at times as well, because if you are constantly on the lurk, that becomes predictable almost.
Yeah.
It's all about the timing and the execution in that fact.
Absolutely. Of course, speaking of execution, if you go back to where it's around, the Bravos did, of course, also just lose down. You could also see it going a little bit more differently if maybe Woody hadn't been watching out long doors and, his teammate had actually been the one doing that. Alternatively, just throw the bomb over and get onto the bomb side a little bit quicker. That Molotov, it's burning for a while longer. You get into better post-bomb positions and whatnot. Obviously, still was a sick play from JNT. Don't want to take that away, but
yeah,
these small things that can come in.
I think it's just one of those things where, because they were both so low HP as well, they knew that trading was probably their best chance at winning straight up gunfights.
Absolutely. It is that tricky little thing. It is that tricky thing in your head as well, though, isn't it? It's like, well, I mean, we're both low. Does that mean we both just have to hit a headshot? Because, if we're trading, maybe he needs to hit a quick body shot, and he's, it's all those extra variables that you don't want to deal with that come into play. And a lot of that comes down to the missed flashbang as well earlier. And one thing that I do generally compliment Bravos on, and I think we saw this in particular moving into, that second or third round where they were able to find it, was that when Bravos are hitting a bomb site, they seem to be very well coordinated with their utility and knowing how exactly the rest of their team is going to be playing out around it at the time of the hit itself. Before that, there can be some mistakes, there can be some issues, but when you're actually scaling onto the bomb site, they generally have a plan and they generally do know, hey, this is our pathways, this is sort of how we're going about things. And that is a point of structure which, I know I felt like they had, which maybe certain teams might not give enough respect. I know they have been called comparatively unstructured at times, but I feel like it's just differently structured.
Yeah, I think it was Bit in his interview as well that was saying that, they don't have loads of strategies. The lack of depth may be something that's noted for this Bravo squad. So if their initial plans of attack don't work, finding the secondary or tertiary solutions are going to be, I suppose, a point that can be highlighted. And we even saw in one of those rounds where they did go B, that the Molotov that wasn't held, they were trying to go a couple different avenues that, again, didn't really pan out because it's just so reliant on the lurk.
And on the Sharks side, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what exactly we can actually see come out of Zevi, because yesterday on Nuke in particular, Zevi was having this monster performance, and it wasn't even the monster performance where you say, oh yeah, okay, he just really knows how to position himself. No, the guy's getting like mid-air adjustment kills. And I do differentiate between flicks and adjustment kills because, you can see this conscious decision. Okay, I'm going to move my mouse here, here, here. Okay, that's how he's going out. Boom. There you go. You're down. You're gone. That kind of stuff, I see it. I think Dust2, baby, let's go. If you can find that consistency in taking down the player who's, making a couple of these small jumps. Jump across the pit, jump from, maybe LT to Xbox if the smoke is a little bit late. If, all of these small places to punish that come in. And I'm looking forward to seeing whether Zevi can be that punisher or not. At the same time, man, Lukowski was a machine in a few of those important rounds.
I think it's that trifecta that we're really excited for, because Pank was always in the right places at the right time as well. I think him and Turtle actually feel like very similar style players, constantly rotating between sites and finding these multi-kills where sometimes if you have a reaction slower, or you're maybe 2 or 3 seconds late to make that decision, then you're not going to get that same opportunity. And in the same way that Zevi is, like you said, very, I suppose, patient is the way that I'd describe his AWPing, because sometimes these more hectic situations where players are literally just jumping at you, where we're seeing him take that conscious decision to not just over flick and potentially miss that shot, try and take a little bit more time to secure it. But then the playmaking from Lucalzi as well just kind of balances everything else out, because when it comes to dire situations, I feel like that's exactly the moments that Lucalzi lives for.
Oh yeah, I mean that's exactly what it looks like at the very least. The kind of willingness he had to re-peek around those smokes in Mirage. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that hero up, I like that. I like that a lot. It's just this contrasting style that you're talking about as well. And look, on the Bravos camp, I'm also starting to think more about, when will we start to see Dinoco on board? Because I know that the desk talked about it. You mentioned it too, Michael, that Kaiji was a very important player last time these two teams played up against each other.
Dinoco's done good.
Dinoco's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he is also just displays a lot of these micro decision-making elements whenever he's being paired up with Leo in particular, where you can see how incredibly effective he is at propping up his teammates in these small, small little team plays, the duo play, the trio play, rather than maybe necessarily the macro map movements as much so. But the small bits of positioning, he's fantastic. And I wouldn't be surprised if I heard about him maybe, micromanaging a couple of the players on the bomb side, on the CT side as well. That secondary voice on a different side of the IGL isn't there.
Did you say that trio play? Is that a Freudian slip?
Yeah, I mean, like 3 people playing together on the bomb side.
The trio, the trio, 9Z's maybe looking at this game already. So,
listen, Michael, don't get me started on my trio love, okay? Right now, though, we have to see where exactly Young Sharks are going to be giving some love in a Bravos. And the CT side has chosen to contest long initially.
Yeah, finally out of the freeze time. And not messing around. No longer tunnels. Play in for Bravos. I'm going to stick to the old tried and true. Work short. And kind of go from there. And the Sharks are very spread. They've got Pank holding the line over towards short. They maintain a little bit of long control as well. This is very much supportive and hoping that they can follow up on Pank's aggression or potentially allow him to fall back. But with the mounting pressure on that short position, Pank doesn't hang around. There's just such a vacant space in middle as well. So the Sharks are going to have to fight within these bomb sites without real fast rotations available.
I mean, who better do it than Pank and Zevi at the same time, though, right? They're trying to move in. Jodo, instead of going straight out, wants to peek in, and it's Pank to discover the fact that Jodo's already pushing in. Wood 7 quickly trades away. Woody, rather. Leo Monster also tagged up, but they have to make sure that Zevi's not able to pluck them apart. They're planting for short instead, and Turtle's going to be in this key position where he might want to start pushing into mid. He's definitely thinking about it, knows that no one's rotating back in for that short side, so where does he go instead?
They have zero util here on the CT side as well, just one flash.
And they have to use it perfectly. Dinoco, however, is going to be able to dodge it out. It's GNT to find the first, Dinoco to trade. Close range, he's got another. Could be 3, and that's Dinoco finishing it all off. Turtle is just there as a cheerleader. Pom-Pom's the man out of the way, but Dinoco's the one who's really doing the hard clearing.
Well, hot damn. Yeah, they throw that one flash, and it does nothing to prevent Dinoco from taking those peeks in towards CT and fighting ramp accordingly as well. The Sharks were trying to collapse on that site fast enough, centered around that one piece of util, and then 3 kills is what you'll get from them. They've had so many big multi-kill rounds already here on the side of Bravos.
Woody wants to just have a, this one last fling with the mid doors before he's forced to. He's looking down at a wall. Like, this is what true love songs are written about, Michael. But Young Sharks at this stage, they are floundering a little bit, and I don't want to jump the gun too much, but I'm really hoping that we can see maybe a bit more action from Pank. It was a fantastic kill to make sure Zevi can stay alive a little bit longer, but that consistent multi-kill presence that we know he can deliver is something they're going to be needing.
Well, they're heavy stacked this direction. Problem is that they only have USPs, so while they might know what's coming,
oh, that's
a whole different issue.
Okay, Smoke don't bump into them, but the spray is there. Even so, Zevi's at least good for 1. Well, you get to feel good about yourself with that one. Oh, even swinging out for a second shot to the head. Not bad, Zevi. 2 kills found with no investment, and both of them giving some money over to your AWPer. That's not the worst of things in the world.
Yeah, the biggest 3-2-1 swing, but the fact that there was that smoke down and a whole lot of firepower behind it there for Bravos doesn't really work out there on the CT effort. And I'm really hoping that the Sharks do hold on to a lot of their utility for some of these late rounds, because we've seen them contested a fair few times over now, and they don't want to be giving up all that utility unwarranted. Boost up from Heavy, and even on the flash, Leo's head is plucked right out.
Goodbye, Leo. But oh, hello, middle. Lukowski down in mid, does find one before being traded, but he's dropped the bomb. That's information. But Zevi, a rare miss coming in at their close range, and Danoke was able to punish as he couldn't retreat in time. Grenade's good, but he's recovered the bomb and the advantage that the CT's had.
I want to say he tagged him for like 4 damage. I don't know if that was a nade coming in at the same time or not, but yeah, that ult really not hitting the mark. And so now that it's coming to this 3-on-3 where information is going to be sparse here from the CT side, you need to be able to see players take that initiative. Lukowski is usually the one that can front that ship.
My only question is, when is Railzen going to start pushing through as well? Because, you know, Lukowski not being there, and that's who I look to for making a quick play or so, and then afterwards. Bank's more concerned about that A side, and understandably so. Wants to make sure that middle is protected as well. Oh, that should be the call for them to start rotating over. They're gonna have players in time. They've heard it as well. JNT turns for the flash. It's Pank to find one. He's not even needed on JNT. Pank just dives away, waits for Woody to peek into him, and that's an AWP he can recover. Young Sharks managed to salvage what looked like a very good start. Did end up slipping away for just a few seconds.
Yeah, and that's all dependent on finally pulling the trigger on some sort of aggression on that CT side, clearing out long and then clearing middle subsequently. That's what gets Pank here on time for that B side exec. All for JNT to find the final kill. He was that unseen element. Pank did so much to divert the attentions there of Bravos. And now their money is run thin here on this T side. They're having to make a few conscious decisions to stray away from rifles. You see Joda just on the Deeg.
Very spread out on the CT side. And they are playing with fire against that Eagle and whatnot. But you're right. At the same time, you can see them maybe necessarily wanting that. Pank peeks out. It's a Leo to just slide right into him. Smoother than a DM. Pank goes down and out. JNT now wants to reclaim that space, and he's able to do so. Danoku holding a disadvantageous position because of that smoke. Wasn't able to catch him in time, even if he had. That is an AWP peeking into you. The one-shot potential. Whew, I'm not backing on that headshot.
Volley timing is fantastic as well from Zevi. They were throwing the wall of smokes down towards short, and Zevi wants to get an angle just around it.
Oh, I love it. They're even going to have to overthink this particular smoke as well. Lukowski coming through. Oh, Lukowski once again coming through. They've always been ready to save Zevi in that angle from the CT push, but Zevi now had to save himself. Close range, he's found the bomb. It goes down. Joda has left Woody all alone to try and save a 1-on-4 that he knows he's just not up for.
Yeah, I don't think he can get away with this either. Oh,
maybe.
Off the shoulder. Just a little glimpse. Woody does actually escape. Yeah, not looking to take that duel. I don't think Reelsin knows that he's made his way past, but now SoundQ's close enough.
Oh.
And yeah, that ult won't be saved. They've already got the double ult here on the Sharks, so one more, not necessary. And now we see that reset. Sharks in a position where they can tie things up here.
And I mean, you can even see a little bit of, I don't want to read into it too much, but the idea that Danoku holds for that peak after they found the advantage early on just, you know, reeks a little bit of desperation to me as well. And just the idea that, hey, they're going to try come, if I can quickly pick him off. We've got less utility, we've got less weaponry. Let's just find a bigger advantage than just the 5v4.
Yeah, desperate maybe not the word I would use. Maybe greedy is I think the better way to encapsulate it, because they're, like you said, just trying to push that advantage further into their camp.
Yeah.
And maybe one more man, one more rifle key to taking that A bomb site. But it's great punishment all around here from the Sharks, being privy to the fact that, again, that Bravos do like to sometimes have that one man left on the lurk to cut off and silence those rotations. So not getting caught out by it.
Yeah, but
they have no utility here for Bravos. So I'm really not fancying their chances.
Hey, Yeah, well, I was gonna say, hey, you know, maybe they can get a run boost out. Yeah, maybe that's just getting ready for the actual gun round. Missed shots and a couple of hit dinks, but Zevi and Pack will still clear it all out. One thing that Bravos have been incredibly good on, as Leo will get this brilliant fadeaway shot on Lokowski, is making sure that Zevi is also just, you know, focused on one particular angle. It doesn't have to care about CT spawn at all. Doesn't have to care about them dropping a player down, which is generally going to be very troublesome for an Opper. And you could see that consistently they've made it a priority to, you know, either have Pank on ramp if he's playing from elbow, or if he's playing from A ramp, then, you know, look how he just pushes blind through that smoke pretty much. No flashes, nothing to help him out. Finds a kill before Zevi can be put underneath pressure, and that's, you know, great to see from the Young Sharks.
Oh, JNT scoped a little late on towards short. They're trying to get through mid rather quickly. Pank spotted as he goes into that smoke, so he's tapped to 5 HP. He's actually get away with a kill, even in spite of all that earlier damage. Flashes in, they keep control of this mid position, but they are looking to try and collapse on this B bomb site. That's what they were set up in these tunnels for, but they don't have that second prong to the assault.
And the CTs are reinforcing the B-bomb site as well. They've now sent an op over in the form of GNT. Flash is all coming out. Lokowski's going to have to step up over here once again. But the rotations with the terrorists come back. They could even look to occupy mid with a single player as a lurk later on, but they have to get past Railsin on the A-bomb site first. Zevi's going to try to catch off a man late to it for Railsin. That molly's late as well. Denoko's able to move past, but Woody is going to be the casualty they have to suffer regardless. Turtle left behind watching as the lurk, but is he going to be prepared for Lokowski to come in? Not quite. Lokowski catches the timing, brings him down, and now the 2-on-3.
They've got the nades and the util for this. All he can go out in towards this site and make things uncomfortable here for Joda. Has to take ramp instead. They're so close to this smoke. Zevi may not anticipate them to be in this position.
And it's Denoko who comes in, works that smoke beautifully. JNT now has to respond. You saw the double tap before, but now has to come up again, and just not possible. Joda's got the timing. 3 kills for Denoko, and again he shows his worth. What a way to do it as well, just forcing out rotations towards that B bomb site.
Yeah, and that's after that initial plan fails there from Bravos. They're able to recuperate and find this other entry path in towards the A site. And the Sharks were heavy onto that stack towards B. They were so convinced that it was going to be that direction. And then only to come in clutch with another big multi-kill here on one of these key players.
He has just been so good so far, and you know, Young Sharks, they've had a few of those performances as well. The fact that they started off the previous round with Pank getting that kill, that was a little bit absurd. Railsin though, he will fall. Turtle the one to escort him into the grave, a kind hand to guide his way through, but Leo, oh, this could be a massive timing to find. He's been able to spot the boost, but Pank still gets the kill. Pank has been unstoppable.
Not going to be enough to deter Bravos from moving towards this A site. They've given up so much ground as a result of getting caught out trying to boost up, but finally there's a kill in response here for the Sharks. A man advantage to be held, and the Molotov will delay this plant from going down here on the side of Bravos. Those smokes that are deployed as well should fade in time, and they're grouped up heavy for this take over towards long. You can see Joe doesn't want to really fight this.
Oh, the flashbang's been dodged as well. GNT, despite the partial flash, will be able to take him down. Joda instead was the one who suffered to it. Zevi peeks forward. Turtle to catch Denoko. Leaves him alone, and Turtle flicks. He knows where Lokowski's coming in from, but can't quite get the adjustment. The complete opposite of Zevi's patience on that spray.
Man, this is such a closely contested map. Sometimes we're getting this Bravos binge into excellence, especially on these high impact fraggers. But then the Sharks are just able to constantly come out with these man advantages, and they have done a better job as we've moved through this map as well of holding onto their utility and waiting until that something is forced. You know, they're not feeling that pressure in some areas of the map, and so they can hold on to that for some of these retakes, where Bravos have been doing a pretty consistent job of breaching into these bomb sites. So that is key for the Sharks to maintain control here. Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Or Shannon AZ-esque.
Is that
Not the best
another
Twitter, but great stats.
Yeah, is that another duo that we look to in the future?
Maybe. I mean, they do need an op in all fairness and Furia, let's be honest. But maybe one day. Yeah. The Nico Hunter and duo comes out again. Then again, that didn't end as well as we hoped it would. Sorry, G2. Fingers crossed for the future, but Bravos right now focused on the present. Leo's been given over that AK, or rather given permission to wield that AK. You've got some armor on Denoco as well, so potentially the handover also possible. But Denoco's actually leading the charge with the Deagle. Jumps across, no one to contest, and they're going to be given short. I say given, but Pank's still waiting here. Welcome them with waiting arms. A lot of noise made. Pank's good for one. Fantastic on the M4 as always. That's the player I don't want to see switching to the A1S after the update, man. He's so good.
Yeah, he's been super sharp. Again, stats look crazy for him, right? But he's just been this high impact player for the Sharks. Again, moving into sharp rotations. And, you know, we often talked about Lukowski as that playmaker. Pank is making plays in his own right.
And Xavi's going to have to step up now. He's using the smoke. We saw his intentions to do so earlier on as well. This is a standard he throws up. And Lukowski in middle.
Oh my God.
Getting himself a cleanup. Michael, you wanna compliment sprays? Well, Lukowski's got something for you.
Yeah, that's Lukau easy. Oh, damn. They make that round look pretty easy. Pank, quick shot on short. Then Lukowski just mows them all down as they try and go in towards this potential mid-B split.
And finally, Young Sharks were able to actually take the lead 7-6. And this could be their point where, you know, if you win out this one, 9's on the cards. Last one to the T side hasn't really been able to accumulate either, but
all from the Sharks.
Oh, Denoco, he's moving forward. Molotov's not going to be doing too much. He's actually pushed through into the smoke. Turtle's gone. Denoco right with him.
Oh, it's just so well timed as well from the Young Sharks. They put themselves in a 3-man setup over towards long. Flashes were being primed as well. It's such a heavy stack. And while they found this man advantage, they are hungry for even more. J&T's pushed through those B tunnels and could potentially find this player that's just hoping to cut players out on rotation from that CT side. This 2-on-5 feels unlosable.
Well, don't want to be making that claim, at least not until J&T maybe finds that kill, you know? Especially because Joda not had a great game so far, but you know what he can do. Team's best performing player statistically, at the very least. You can maybe just get a quick tap out onto Zevi. Bring him down. Bomb can be planted. You're thinking about it, Michael. Now you're thinking about it. And so are they. Smoke goes down. That's the cover off from elbow. They have to deal with Pank as well, who's got a flash and an incendiary in their pathway. Getting harder and harder as the clock ticks down. JNT coming in from behind. He knows exactly what's going on. The convergence, it is upon us. And Woody needs the run boost forward. Sees a player on the bomb site. Zevi trades away. And Joda's still here. A 1-on-3 now. AWP might be needed, but he moves back for the Molotov. Needs to duck out of control because he knows there's a player nearby. Scopes, but it's a double, and that means he can't adjust. Rails it. Takes him down, but... And if he kept the AK, gets a flick on there, whole different round.
Yeah, but there was always that potential, but such a big advantage being found in the early stages, and it's just a really well-timed call here from the Sharks. Just as the Bravos were setting up for a long take, that's where they go for a take of their own right, and they want to take those fights. That's part of the primary objective. Ooh. Even though you do get a little nervous, they were very disciplined about how they approached that one as well on the Sharks.
Oh, again, long take once more, and the MAC-10 at long range converging against Railton. Really? That's what you want to go for? Deagle not pulled out. He's just not moving. Railton wants it all. Bullets finally run out. His knees give way, but not before he's had his heroic defense.
This man's dodging bullets left and right. How has he survived for so long out in the open?
MAC-10 might be good at running and gunning, jumping and gunning, but standing still and shooting from a mile away might not be its best of...
not the forte.
like being able to... It's like expecting Lego to be able to actually make a house for you. Not quite how it works. JNT, though, it comes through with 2 more. Young Sharks find themselves 9 after a very back and forth half. We're going to have to wait to see whether that momentum can continue into the second, though. We'll be back after a short break. And back into things we go. Young Sharks taking the lead after what looked to be an impossible lead to take. Bravo still very much in the mix, but the question is, can they activate on Leo and Joda? Woody's going to have to show up a little bit more on the AWP as well. I'm T-Time, joined by Michael Yumi-Kat.
Yeah, we've seen the 2 heavy hitters in Turtle and Dinoco really take action for Bravos on that T side, but now that they're on the opposite end, you have to be a bit more reliant on all the pieces to chime in, because the aggro plays in from Bravos. They want some information, and Turtle's moving even further forward. The Sharks are holding for this.
Oh, Turtle could be able to catch something, but the only thing he's catching is a bullet to the face. Rails in. Able to find him, take him down, expecting that aggression, but not expecting Leo. Leo's got 2 somehow, and he's being peeked into from the bottom of CT mid onto top of mid. That's big for the USP. Now, as they start to move past, they've got the double smoke to be able to smoke off cross. Leo, though, once again, is just present, wants to get in a couple more kills before he's done with this round. Woody, good to help him out with a few flashes. Molotov won't be coming in to clear him out from Gandalf. They might not be expecting him to cross, but there goes Leo. He's down. Joda needed to find Pack, but it's Woody instead who takes him down. Still, a chance has been given. The bomb's been planted. They need to defend the terrorist side. Waiting for the CTs to start pushing through. Jump up from Joda and intercepted one. JNT leaves Zevi alone, and Zevi just can't get it all. They were low on the CT side, but can't capitalize.
Yeah, got the headshot on the one player that he needed to at the end there with the Glock. So, you know, a couple more body shots would have been enough, but that trade is instantaneous. So Bravos are able to get things back together. Even after losing that first man on the aggro play, that's where the Bravos side are able to capitalize on the secondary player. Leo just constantly peeking back into it. And sweeping things under the rug for the retake. Had a numbers advantage. You know, those flashes as well made things a little bit more dicey there for the Sharks. So now Bravos, they have won both pistols. I'm sure Vu will absolutely love. That's become a common talking point, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah. It happens when you don't have anything else to offer to the Dust.
Lucky.
It is true in all fairness in some regards. You know, there's a lot more. There's a lot more variance. You know, variance out to the pistol round, and if you do win those 2 pistol rounds and the subsequent ones, it does feel a little bit unfair. But
and
at the same time,
that's really good at winning pistol rounds.
Yes,
that's a skill in its own.
That is true. I think the bigger skill though these days in the modern day of Counter-Strike is just winning out against that force spike consistently.
True.
So that's where if you can do that constantly, twice and a half, hats off to you. Yes,
the variance are nerfed soon. Don't worry about it.
I mean, you say that, Michael, but.
Yeah, you can still one-shot headshots. So, I mean, it's still pretty dangerous.
Absolutely. Question is, as they start to move into mid, they're really hoping for any sort of CT presence at all. Bravos are just not offering. They want nothing to do with this. The double smoke for the mid to be in the meanwhile. It's going to be Joda who has to cover. Joda, though, catching out nothing. Look how he's able to overwhelm. The spray doesn't quite work. Woody's crawling away, looking for the AUG. He doesn't do anything with it, though. Leo's the only one who can tag through. And this is where Railson just smokes himself off. And you've got the CTs who are trying desperately to be able to scale onto the bomb site any way possible. Denoco, again, missing out. The AUGs just can't find anything. Back finally falls. Turtle comes in. The spray on 2. That looked like it was a disaster. It looked like Young Sharks had that.
And it was a disaster. You could see the panic setting in there from Bravos as they lose those 2 players so quickly in the site. But there comes Leo, Turtle, and Denoco to the rescue. You know, just diverting enough attention there that towards the tail end, Turtle could get right in their face. And Leo just locking down long as well, secured another position for them for this retake. That is a scary round. And it was even scary as well when there was no action. The fact that there was that just massive gap that could be exploited in middle. Where, yeah, those rotates were always going to be a little late. Oh, with the plant money, the Sharks have gone back into a few of these pistols.
Ooh.
And oh my goodness. Yeah, Joda won't be doing that again anytime soon.
I think they would have gone for the pistol, but no. Leo now has to once again step up. Molotov down. Should be able to intercept. A lot of damage, but the flash just stays for too long. Lukowski takes him down, and again, guess what? All your bomb sites are belong to us, and we've got ourselves an AK as well.
This time we don't have the saving grace in having long still held by a distance player. So Bravos is going to have to fully retake off of short. Separating doesn't feel like an option for them either. The good news for them is that they have so much of this utility for this retake.
Ooh, that nade's big though, Michael. That utility goes either way as well from their own fallen teammate. Molotov to the bomb site itself. They're trying to move through. Lukowski with a stolen AK is doing so much damage. They just can't get past him. A Tech 9 now pulled out, and Woody, you could have used that all kill in the previous round. Maybe this one only gives you a runaway card.
Well, that's super motivational. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
This time without armor.
Yeah, and that second time over, the Sharks are just able to scale up so nicely. The flashes were brilliant as well to allow for that second entry.
That was massive.
And yeah, there were so many more advantages there for the Sharks because not only did they have better positions, but like you had mentioned, they were able to get their hands on those rifles as well, where it was a little bit further distance from them, you know, out in the open. That's what was so key about Leo's position last time.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those miracle rounds that, I mean, honestly, it is well orchestrated from the Sharks.
They went into it with a game plan, and then Bravos decided to fit right into that game plan as well. That's at least what it seemed like. Bomb left and spawn, never ideal, but hey, that's where Zevi can come back and pick it up. Have to be careful. There's that one way rearing its head. Tank, Molotov over. He's been found out. A lot of damage dealt as well right with it. Turtle doesn't want to stick around though. Contesting in for short, not a priority when he knows there's probably 3 players on the other side. This is still such a good call from Bravos in positioning. I mean, the fact that Turtle's also going to be ready to rotate over. You do expect them to go for more of a stack style of play, but I mean, maybe you'd be thinking, nah, Young Sharks gonna go for a short control. Not again, but turns out that might still be in the cards.
They just have no util here to deter or slow down here on the Sharks, so that extra man being close by is going to be crucial. Molotov in towards Goose as well. I don't know if it's going to fully flush out Leo, but the flash is good, and he's doing so much damage, but no kills being found.
This is where Woody, maybe he can finally step up with the AUG, but he just can't get them on the cross. They're able to move on to the bomb site again. You can't keep letting them scale for free, and Turtle is going to be just a cherry on top. You're not just giving them the site for free, you're giving a side dish as well.
That's hell of a package deal. Yeah, understandable call to save here on the side of Bravos for the reasons aforementioned. Just keep hold of those rifles so that, you know, these future buys may look a little bit better, but they are conceding a lot of that control, and part of that comes down to this scrappy buy, again, not having the utility to facilitate many more aggressive plays. So far, the CT side hasn't really provided in the same way that you might have anticipated for Bravos either. One of the things that we've often complimented them for as well is, again, it's one of those key features of top teams as well, being able to push-pull on your aggressive positioning as CT sides as soon as you start to feel pressure elsewhere. Bravos have just been sitting so contained into these sites.
I have to say, Woody has not been able to step up in the second half so far. We really need to see more from him as well. You know, hate to single out a player, but there's so many of these situations where you feel like another kill, maybe even a bit more damage for his teammates to play off of, give his teammates some space as well. And he's being put in these crucial positions to perform. Maybe when he gets an op in his hands.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jordan did hit a 1 but didn't quite kill the guy. Staggering to the edge of the wall, JNT now given the op. Has already found some solid damage, just catching a glimpse of Turtle. Now a push over towards B, and that's the solitary man that was left in charge of it. Oh man, you're supposed to slow him down. You're supposed to hold the site. Bravos have given that one away, and while Woody will find a trade, this is firmly in the control of the Sharks. They can get this planted. They could feel a little safer.
Yeah, well, I mean,
too. Yeah, no saving, no rifles, no nothing.
Hey, Joda's alive. You know? Yeah. Realistically, all they can do is maybe find the AUG if the bomb pushes it over, I guess. Or if they're going to go into lower tunnel, which would be a very surprising decision to make. You can find a quick kill. This was never going to be a round where you expected a lot out of Bravos, but obviously when you are losing out a few of these rounds, and you know, even the round where they win after the pistol, it's not like that was clean. You know, you need a Turtle to get this beautiful spray down from the farmers to do it. When you're in this state, you need any sort of moral victory you can get, and they're not getting any. And they don't have an op on Woody again.
Yeah, that's one of the problems that we've seen, is that, yeah, you know, you're kind of talking about Woody not having the level of impact that you'd maybe anticipate for the CT side, but if they're not allowing him to pick up that AWP as much, then yeah, his impact is going to be limited.
That is insane.
And why is it titled Am I Old? Oh no.
Just reminding us of rethink our life decisions, Michael. But hey, we're right here, and we're on the server with them in spirit. Bravo's a double technical, rather double tactical being called. Ooh. Do think there's been some serious mismanagement of economy, though. You're right.
It just feels like things are kind of breaking down because we know that they do prioritize the AWP. You know, we've seen a couple of teams. Yes. I think in the NA side of things, we talked about how, you know, Godsent, you know, they'll pick up AWPs on their CT sides, but they don't exactly have a designated AWPer. It's not exactly a focus for them.
It's not a priority.
Yeah, it does feel like a limitation at times, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now, Woody is a bona fide AWPer, so where's the AWP?
Question as old as Counter-Strike itself, it seems like.
You know, whose AWP is this?
Meanwhile, Woody just trying to scout out over towards mid, and this is such a fast take over to short. If they want to start moving out and scale onto catwalk, they can, and the smokes seem to imply just that. Railsin is accelerating, gets the information that there's no one over towards ramp who's watching out, even spams into elevator.
Yeah, he's spooking him.
Woody is trembling in fear, shivering. And now, mid to B smoke to make sure that they can drop straight down in towards the CT's one they'd like to, but Woody's being careful, playing from on top of the bomb side, fully blind, and Lukowski is as well, but he's the one who gets the frag. Now Joda trying to spam, but that spam is returned right back twice over. The Young Sharks once again had the bomb site off the back of some great utilities, some fantastic flashes, and early ground given to Railsin. And it's so interesting because Bravos, where they were getting hyper aggressive up from catwalk and losing out that duel consistently, now they give it up completely.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You could see just by the utility that's used from the Sharks, you know, they're staggering their flashes much more than you would see on traditional retakes. Sometimes because you're so concerned about, one, these aggro pushes, but two, the AWP. And neither have been really present here from Bravos on these takes. You can see how quickly they move to try and save, but with Joda now falling, the prospect of Leo getting away with this one is also dwindling. They're surrounded. They're all over him. So, yeah, Bravos don't feel quite like themselves, I don't think, here on the CT side. So many of the positives we often talk about seemingly absent, and they're not even trying to accommodate for it, it feels like.
And even the two big star players, or rather star performers in the first half, Turtle and Dinoco, where are they? You know, it's not even like you're saying, okay, Bravos, the players who need to step up aren't stepping up. The players who are already stepping up have actively taken a backline as well. They say, you know what, we're gonna chill out for a bit. You guys do the heavy lifting, but no one's doing it.
Feels like it's time to make a change here for Bravos, and based around the fact that they have these two rifles.
Ooh.
I mean, they're really relying on Turtle to hide up in his shell.
And Turtle's found himself one reposition as well. Has time to dodge the flashes, but despite regaining a lot of his vision, he's just not able to find the kills. Only one to connect, and sure, man, it's a half fight, caveat. But Young Sharks are now knocking on the door of 14, and I'm pretty sure that all of Counter-Strike is ready to answer. That boost, though, maybe something to be found. Dinoco sees that smoke going over, flashbang now in as well, drop down collectively, utility running out on the CTs, and that smoke and tunnel mean that they're locked out. Young Sharks, they've already got the round. At this point, it's all about securing rifles if they can. Hell, even if they throw the rifles away,
yeah,
and
their money's good.
Yeah, they're fine with it. Have to make sure that the CTs don't get them.
Oh, they're running at them as well. Oh my god. Oh, Leo, long arms and some rifles recovered. Another player found, but losing one in response. There is still a buy here on the cards here for Bravos, and finally we get the AWP out. Hell, make it 2. So this is going to have to be all impactful. This cannot go wrong here for Bravos, lest the Sharks just completely sweep this one away. This T side has been getting so much success, punishing some of the poor choices maybe made economically, but the Sharks, these executes have looked brilliant.
Bravos I think this might be the first time we've seen the AWP, and they've brought out 2 of them. Can't blame them for it. Not too many rounds left, and there goes Leo inside the smoke and reels. It follows up.
Oh my days.
The instant headshot. Joda gets nothing. They were hoping to be sneaky, tricky, difficult, mischievous. Open up a thesaurus, and the only thing you're not going to find is a kill because they're not getting any. Denoka and Turtle finally show up. Woody as well, waiting for them to scale onto the bomb site so he can do something about it, or at least against it. Flash over. He's looked around. At the same time, JNT, he's got the full B bomb site to himself. Turtle's positioning is going to be everything, but the bomb's actually turned around. Wants to go back from despawn, and that's the correct decision. Zevi, though, tagged up in the meanwhile, as he is trying to move back, and he's managed to fake them out. Pank will fall. Now nowhere to go. Seems like with both players separated, JNT has to be the one to make a play.
This round's kind of all over the place here for the Sharks. Now with that acceleration towards A and then running it back to B, the fact that Zevi was spotted, they're one step ahead, cutting off that rotation through T-spawn. You can see Turtle's advanced position while JNT has so much ground. Oh, Turtle, the timing for this may not actually be ideal because he's now put himself into the sandwich.
JNT, ooh, has to be careful. He's been
do they even have
hurt.
time?
Molotov straight down under. They need to rush it over.
They don't even have time.
And Turtle pushes through. He's been able to drop the bomb. Still good kill for JNT to find. AWP can be recovered as well. Bravos will win the round, but damn, is it expensive.
Yeah, that money for them is so much more important. Key thing is that they keep those 2 AWPs in play. And the Sharks getting kind of stopped over at ramp. You could see their hesitation about recommitting into it. Knew that there was that gap in the smoke as well towards CT, so they were a little apprehensive, I think.
Also with JNT getting the entire B bomb site for free, you know they're really thinking, wow,
It's like, why don't we just go to this clear site? Yeah.
Flash it to force him off a short in the meanwhile.
Oh, now they're creeping in through middle, doubled up, and there is the AWP of Denoka round the other side. They've got the bomb as well, not too far away from the action, but these AWPs are pinning them in position. With Seven's aggro off for short as well. Now with Denoka's repositioning, looks like they're setting their sights on taking a bit more tunnels control, recognizing that B split's coming.
Denoka needs to land these shots. He's re-peeking into it. Turtle can't find it either. The B bomb site gets nothing. Absolutely nothing. And if you thought retaking would have been harder on A, wait till you get to a T side, which has 3 Molotovs and 2 smokes ready for that post plant in B. No way they're finding anything. And the fact that Denoka re-peeks and Turtle's holding that close angle, I thought that they were going to get that for sure, but no, not quite.
Yeah, the timing for that decision for that from Bravos is probably one of the worst ones there, because I think they realized that mid was being gone on a little too late. Obviously, they made that decision just as the smokes and the movement was coming out from the Sharks, so they kind of get into the spot where they don't really have tunnels control, and they don't really have Denoka in the best spot to be able to deal with that mid B push. If he just held into the window, you know, if they stuck to their original setup, I feel like they would have had a better chance, but that was the call. They were trying to get a step ahead, but because it was a little late, the Sharks are just able to capitalize and pounce on that B bomb site. Last stand now for Bravos, and they're going to be missing out on that secondary AWP. Man, the statistical shoot down for a few of these players here on the side of Bravos. I don't know that Joda's actually found many, if any, on this second half, and Nukalsi actually had a chance at the spawn pick with the AWP, but not to be. Bravos counting their lucky stars and not already a man down.
And in general, it seems like Bravos has barely found any kills in most of these rounds anyhow, so I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Leo doesn't look like he's getting much done. We already talked to death about Woody, but even Denoka and Turtle, I think they must have only gotten 5 or 6 kills in this entire second half. Woody, meanwhile, wants to get aggressive, knows he needs to make a play. He's the first player. Zevi's down. Good start to things. And with a flashbang down mid, he's been given ability to jump straight back over towards that A bomb site.
Big man to find. Of course, that AWPer here for the Sharks, but mistake smoke. Nobody's there to punish, but it's going to add to a little paranoia. A couple more flashes will be used in middle as a result of that.
Also makes it harder to go mid to B now if you want to even fake that. Fortunately, Denoka has not spotted out that fact. Unfortunately, they don't know it.
Well, the good news for the Sharks is that there are no weak links, so even being that man down, wouldn't be too surprised if we suddenly got a double entry out of nowhere. They've been full of those.
Yeah. Railson's been the one to deliver many times over as well. A flashbang overhead. Leo's completely blind. They turn around. JNT's found him. Instant equalizer. And now as they push forward, it's Bank on the other side, who's good for an instant kill as well. Woody, AWP at the ready. Flashbang dodged out. Needs to do so much, but he's just not being peeked into. A Molotov to prevent the climb off of Xbox, and Turtle's going to be late. Bank has also dodged it out. Woody had to aggress instead, but in doing so, they've given up the bomb site. 8 seconds. The bomb could have been planted, but Woody actually finds it. Now Railson has to go for an unideal plot. Lukowski trying to defend. Lukowski not in position to play off of the plot. So he wants to reposition, and the long flare is too much to deal with. Railson left alone finds nothing, and Bravos retakes off of a fantastic round from Woody.
Yeah, just constantly picking them all on that angle that he has on short. And once he didn't have to deal with the player on short from the Sharks, you know, he had to be worried about getting wrapped from both sides, but he fights to secure that position there for the retake. And just as they're continuously trying to get this bomb down, you know, take these positions on the A site, that's where Woody is there to constantly apply that pressure.
Oh, wow. That third shot was crisp.
Yeah, very quick about it here on the side of Woody, which is exactly why we wanted to see the ult out earlier. Bit more frequency here from Bravos, but the Sharks, I don't imagine, are going to be too deterred. They have all that money built up from how successful this T-side half has been. Yeah, there's been a couple hiccups just as they get to the final leg.
Wow.
Yeah, and that does make a whole lot of sense.
It's pretty nuts.
Thank you very much, Elliot. These opening duels have been a key feature. Don't think anybody needs to really point that one out any further than that. Staffman's got you covered. Last time out being called in for Bravos.
Would be a good time to use it before it's too late, for sure. I'm curious to see whether or not we get to see any sort of aggression again. You know, Bravos went for that short push so many times over. Didn't work for them. They went for the long smoke sit. You know, Leo inside it. Another man right next to him, I think it might have been Joda. They both go down and Railson. What's the call going to be from Bravos? Are they feeling comfortable to get aggressive, see if they can maybe get into Young Sharks' minds, or are they going to play default, chill out, double up, let's go? It's going to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's what we have to see.
Well, it's certainly been working that they've been, you know, playing within these sites a bit more. We've also seen them as well take a bit more of a dynamic approach to short, which now is being a target of aggression. Nice and early here from the Sharks. Tanoka's being run down, and Lukowski's got him just as he's trying to drop down CT. Only one more player that can contest, and that's Woody on that AWP, who has been finding his form, and players getting blinded up on rotation. Woody's standing his ground. They cannot breach into this A bomb site. That AWP is gunning them down on the cross, and now stuck on short, trying to bail themselves out. It's Zevi to deal with the flank until that path to the B site is open.
Turtle's demise might have given them a path to the win right here. Zevi, though, caught out by Joda, and now the AWP makes its way over. Woody switched out to the M4. Joda's there in time to be able to try and block them off, but he sees JNT, who's attempting a tricky little smoke for the B doors. Just cannot be given over. And Michael, how many times have we seen Woody fail this angle on the AUG? Must have been 3 rounds in the beginning. And I kept wondering, what's going to happen when he has the AWP in his hands? And you find out exactly what.
Yeah, a bit more spaced out. This time, the Sharks weren't as composed as well for that execute. Those flashes didn't do all too much to deter Woody's angle. And now we're getting that weapon online, that second or third threat here from the Bravos CT side. And sure, yeah, you have that cushion built up from previous rounds, but you can feel it starting to slip away from out from under you. So the Sharks trying to come up with a proper plan, and they had one going into that round. You know, they got the kill exactly like they wanted to on short. They've realized as well that the Bravos have been moving into that position much earlier into rounds, and they find that an immediate punishment. But the fact that they didn't have the follow-up utility to deal with and actually properly scale into that site was a big hindrance.
Oh, so much presence to be this time over. Woody, admittedly, more focused inside mid, but even so, I do still appreciate the fact that they are getting aggressive on long. Not quite as much as we've seen before, but just enough to keep it strictly contested. Have to be careful, though, because JNT is keeping an eye out with the AK from behind their taxi. That's where it can be a difficult fight to win, although they are still going for it. Leo finds some tag damage. Denoco trying to switch in and out with the AWP. See if he can cut the man down, but instead is content with just smoking it off. Still, everyone down in mid, and that's where contention will have to come through. Joda waiting up for that flashbang. He'll have to back off, and that's where maybe Turtle's Incendiary needs to be deployed. We're gonna have to wait to see what goes on in there. Joda waits out, needs the player to push through the CT smokes as well. Peeks out, can't find anything. Reels in, doubles up. Denoco's demise guarantees his B bomb site unless Turtle can be a hero. He's found his Superman cape, and he doesn't get a chance to get two. Can't quite put it on. Turns out cape doesn't make the man. Woody and Leo, however, is 2v4.
They've been king of double entries here on the side of the Sharks, and now they just have to hold into the site. A smoke to delay Leo as well in his progress towards the upper tunnel. So Woody has to be the man to find these opening kills, and he's plucked out by the AWP. Leo can't really get much further out of the tunnels, and Zebi gets both the kills at the end. It's the Sharks closing out their